Hey, what's up, guys? It's Dan from UnitedQ. It's Wednesday, which means we have another awesome podcast to get you over hump day. I'm here with my co-host, Ben. Hello. And we are brought to you by ProQ, Barbecue Gourmet, Kamado Joe, and Smokewood Shack, our awesome sponsors. ProQ is dedicated to providing you with quality smoking products with top-notch service and free advice to beginners to pit masters. And you can find them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under ProQ Smokers. So if you're thinking about buying your first smoker, wanting to upgrade, or looking for charcoal cabinet smokers, check them out over at Max Barbecue. And Barbecue Gourmet is devoted to promoting real barbecue and supplying the UK and Europe with top championship-winning barbecue rubs, sauces, marinades, and accessories from the US and around the world. And you can find them on Twitter and online under Barbecue Gourmet. So regardless of how you cook, whether it's on charcoal, wood, gas, or electric, the real taste of barbecue can be yours all year round. And Kamado Joe is renowned for build quality and innovation. From smoking, roasting, or searing, Kamado Joe is the premium ceramic grill chosen by Michelin star chefs and barbecue enthusiasts alike. Get that great barbecue taste and keep the moisture locked in. Check out kamadojoe.co.uk plus Facebook and Twitter. And on today's show we have Andy Annat. Hi, Andy.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good, great to have you on. How are you doing?
Good. Yeah, it's good to be here. Thank you for the call.
No worries. We've been a lot of the listeners have been asking for us to get you on, so here we are.
Oh, great. Well, that's good. Well, I'm happy to be here.
You are often referred to as sort of one of the sort of founding sort of guys in the UK here of the sort of barbecue scene and taking it sort of to the next level. Yeah,
I probably started around probably almost 20 years ago, I think. It was when I was still in the meat industry, and that's when I started getting the bug for it. And you know how it takes you.
Exactly. We're more than obsessed. So you say the meat industry.
Yeah,
so what did you used to do?
I really started out as a butcher, and then I was a meat inspector, where you'd stamp the carcasses and pass them fit for human consumption. And then I went to meat sales, where I travelled around the whole country, up and down the country, selling meat to hotels and restaurants and the likes. And then I started working for myself, 1999, I think, our first business in Leeds.
Cool. So a meat inspector, what's involved in that? What are you checking for when you're checking whether meat's fit for human consumption?
Yes, so that you make sure that there's no idatic cysts in there, and everything like the BSc, all that sort of stuff. You sort of have to go through the whole thing. It was quite an intense training. I did 6 years at college in the meat, in the meat department, and then I went back to the college to teach. I used to teach a class there, a class of chefs. We used to do meat cutting and the likes after that.
Cool, sounds good. I'd love to go on that course.
Yeah, it sort of stood me in good stead knowing a lot about meat when I sort of came into the barbecue and smoking world, really.
Massively. Who knows more than a butcher? So, and I guess the sort of meat inspector and studying meat for 6 years at college must have given you a great insight into a lot of stuff. So, I imagine that started you off in a really good place to break into the barbecue scene.
Yeah, that's it. And, you know, some of the cuts that we're using now, you know, a lot of people have never heard of before, and just little things that we use that I know that at the moment is very cheap. It's like a lot of stuff, you know, like the Jacob's Ladder a few years ago, nobody had heard of it, and it was actually known as an oven buster. The grandma used to roast them in the oven, they used to double in size. Well, they still do. If you roast them at a high heat in the oven, and you know, them sort of old-fashioned cuts are now being used in the UK, all over the world, but in the UK we're using a lot of that type of thing that was cheaper, but because of supply and demand they've got expensive. So I tend to use stuff that people are still not using, and I keep it a bit quiet because I want to keep the price as low as I possibly can.
Right, do we need to stop the recording and you need to open up here? Or? No, we won't stop it. You can tell us. Awesome. So, at the same time as that inspecting it, do you like grade it for quality and stuff, or is that not done at that point?
That wasn't our job. At the time, it was graded by the Meat and Livestock Commission, and that's when it gets graded. And they do all that. The classification of the carcass and all that sort of stuff is what the Meat and Livestock Commission does. We simply pass it so that it's fit for human consumption.
Okay. And is there were you certified to do like all different meats, or are you like only certified in
Yeah,
certain areas? Or
I was qualified in beef, lamb, and pork, and then a separate exam to do poultry.
okay,
Awesome.
yeah,
Which was it was stood me in good stead. You know, it wasn't a job that I particularly liked doing. I mean, it's not a particularly glamorous job working in an abattoir. But at the age of 19 and 20, it was big bucks. Travelling up and down the country, sort of, earning good dollar at it. But then what happened was the BSc thing came in and whatever, and they started bringing in a lot of vets and trainee vets from abroad to do the jobs that we were doing. And I started doing fast tracks to get you through quicker, because they needed a lot of meat inspectors at the time, and you couldn't make the money what you could when I was actually doing it. I didn't do it for too long. I probably only did it for 2 years, but it was a great couple of years, sort of the age of 19, 20, seeing the country, travelling about, and because I used to do it as a relief. I wasn't particularly set in one place, so I used to travel all over the place, and but yeah, it was great. It was a nice little life, but it wouldn't be something that I would like to do forever.
yeah. That's very interesting. It's not like the sort of job that you immediately would think would get you to travel around, I don't think, is it?
No, well, I actually love my travelling, and that's why I do a lot of travelling now, and that's through barbecue. So I've managed to travel quite a lot through my work, which has been good.
Yeah. So what took you from doing that to becoming international barbecue?
Well, we went into opening our own meat company, and we supply meat to a lot of the TV sets, like Emmerdale and Corrie and Heartbeat and the likes, whatever. And we supplied all the meat to these guys, and then we opened up a retail outlet. And I used to enter a lot of the barbecue product competitions, which was run by the Meat and Livestock Commission. And so it was coming up with innovative cuts of meat and stuff for the barbecue. So I used to travel over to Holland, where I got a lot of my inspiration in the meat from Holland, and with the Kirschlager butchers. I trained with the Kirschlagers. Which
so is that because do they use like sort of doing the cheaper cuts you're talking about that people don't really use? Do they tend to? Is that where you got that from?
Well,
do they tend to use the whole animal a bit better, or?
Yeah, but they did really well at breaking a whole carcass down, particularly beef. They could break a whole beef carcass down and make it into, because the Dutch are not renowned for making good beef. Mostly it's dairy cattle, which if you took, if you cut some dairy cattle the way that we cut like pure steer meat, and tried roasting it and cooking it the same sort of way, that, particularly the more expensive cuts, it doesn't eat very well, because it's a machine. It's been doing a lot of work on its life as a cow, and it tends to be tough, and there's lots of connective tissue in there, thick gristle, and the meat actually doesn't eat as good. So what the Dutch did was started breaking it down into very small pieces, and they'd make beef olives and stuff like that. Then they'd stuff things, and so they're making more kitchen-ready prepared products.
Okay.
So I took a trip over to Holland, and I started working with the Kirschlager butchers, who were specialists at this type of butchery, and brought it back over to England, where I did the same sort of products, make the same type of products, but using very high quality meat. So we ended with a fantastic product, because we weren't using the cow meat, we were using good quality meat, and breaking it down in the same sort of way. So I started entering barbecue contests, I think around 1997, 1998, around that area. And just started doing really well at it, because we'd sort of taken the scene butchery work, brought it over here to England, and started putting that into the contest. And we started doing really well, and it took off. And then the Q Guild of butchers, which are like the elite butchers over in England, which were similar to the Kirschlager over in Holland, they started doing a lot of work, and they went over to Holland and Germany and doing the same sort of thing. And that's why you see a lot of that type of broken down, ready prepared kitchen prepared products now in the butcher shops.
That's cool, because, I mean, so we are talking about, like, sort of thing, when you go into butchers and it's sort of pre-packaged, like, ready to roast meats or ready to cook this or ready to cook that, and it's been stuffed and rolled and pinned and the rest of it, so that's the sort of stuff we're talking about.
Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Yeah. That's really cool. So you really brought that over to the UK then?
Well, I did. I didn't. I mean, I didn't actually bring it over to the UK, but I was probably one of the first over here.
It was really pushing it and taking it to sort of that next level.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
That's really cool. So that's over 10 years ago, and here we are today.
Oh no, it was longer than that. I mean,
20 years ago. Sorry.
Yeah, around 20 years ago. In fact, I was probably doing it well before then. I mean, 25 years ago. I represented the National Association of Catering Butchers in a contest, doing a similar thing. I had to break down a pork shoulder. So that was I was 19, so it was 26 years ago, something like that.
So when you say you were a butcher, you weren't just a butcher, you were like a top class butcher then? You were as good as it gets?
Well, yeah, I used to do pretty well at butchery. The thing was butchery, I was good at it, but I didn't particularly enjoy it. and it's funny, and when we had our business, it was the same again. I was good at it, but I didn't enjoy doing it. So, as the meat business was getting harder and harder to make money in the meat business, our barbecue business was getting better and better. So that's when we made the flip, and we just went into just doing barbecues at that point.
So what was the barbecue competition scene like back then?
Oh, it wasn't very good. I mean, it was totally different, I suppose. It was a lot of contests organised by smaller things. You get them, like the Meat and Livestock Commission had organised a lot of product contests. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't actually about the cooking, it was about making the meat products. They were very good. I don't think we do them these days. Well, I'm not sure if they do or not. I think the Q Guild might have taken over with that sort of thing. But the actual barbecue grilling competitions were, when I say not very good, I think it depends on what you're comparing it against. Now, if you were to compare it against the big contests that you have these days, the KCPSs and the likes, yes, they're not. But as far as a backyard type barbecue contest goes, it was perfect. And for me at the time, when I was trying to promote our meat products through the butchery, it was ideal because it was showing that our meat products, when we were doing well in the little contest that we were doing, it was great for our customers to sort of see what we were making and how we could cook it easily. Do you know what I mean? Nothing complicated.
Yeah, so it's more like an opportunity to showcase how great your product was, really.
That's really what we did it for, yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. So what sort of... So back then, like in the sort of competition you were talking about, what sort of things were you cooking then? So it wouldn't have been your sort of... As you're saying, your KCBS meats or anything. So
no,
what sort of stuff
like
back
that.
there were you doing? Like just standard sort of British barbecue backyard sort of stuff?
But yeah, very much so. I mean, it was
cool.
We were making some really fancy products. We were using some really nice marinades and stuff, and it was very, very different. It was high class meat products, and a lot of the time you could cook whatever you wanted. It wasn't a case of, you've got to cook a brisket or ribs or pork or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could cook just about anything you wanted. So that's when our meat products and our manufactured products and stuff sort of came into their own. And that's why we did sort of quite well on the meat sales side of it, because we did well in the competitions, if you know what I mean. So it was very much grilling and hot and fast and smoking and planking and that type of thing. But nothing that would take too long. If anything took over an hour, for me it was too long because I wanted to showcase as many products as I possibly could.
Right. So it's a completely different way of doing the competition then, really.
Yeah, totally different. Totally, yeah.
And is that were you like winning barbecue
It
championships
was enjoyable.
back then? Or?
It was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was really enjoyable. We loved it, actually. But the thing is, as well, for me, it was always about promoting the business. It was never really a hobby. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've never really got into the competition thing as a hobby. If I had a different type of job, if I was going out to work for a company and barbecue was my thing on a weekend, like it used to be when I was fishing, that'd be totally different. But because it's my job, sort of that comes first, and it did help with the promotion of the business when we first started.
So when you first started the business, what was the business? Was it catering or?
Yes, it was butchery.
Yeah.
But we started doing the hog roasts on the gas probably, 20 years ago.
Wow.
So we started doing that, and we got the contract to do quite a lot of the hotels, Harewood House, which is up in Leeds, and Queen's Cousin, and we did the weddings up there. We ended up doing quite a lot. And it was a total accident. I was asked if I could do a hog roast for a wedding, and I actually borrowed all the equipment to do it, and we did the job. It was quite funny. It was, and then I bought the equipment off the guy that I borrowed it off. Our first ever gas hog roaster, and it was made by a farmer. And I think we made, I can't remember how much it was. Made a few £100, £1,000 or something. And but there was nobody else doing the hog roast in the day then.
Yeah, no.
So we ended up having a fleet of them after a long time. So we had them going out all over the place. And everybody else started doing it. And the little butcher down the road bought a hog roast machine, and the hotel bought a hog roast machine. So we basically laid that to one side. And if somebody wants one now, we'll do it. But we don't really want to do it. Or we'll do it, and we'll do it in a different type of way. We'll totally not do it like the ones that are roasted these days. I would tend to take all the rind off it and cook that separately and mess around with it a bit and make it Cuban style, or you know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah.
Sounds good.
To make it totally different.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Add like a different spin on it. I mean, look, I'm literally staring at the sort of menu now, or not your menu from then, but looking at some of the stuff that you're doing, and so from that. And you can. What I was trying to say there was that you can see that you put like a different spin on things, and you're introducing stuff like, I mean, a bit of fusion going on there. Not just your sort of normal barbecue sort of fare. You got a bit of everything going on there, and bits from all over the world, which is awesome to see. So from that stage where you sort of put the hog roast to the side. So what happened from there?
Okay. So at that point, when we were doing that, we were still butchers. We were still running the butchery business. And then we started doing hog roast, and we started doing a few barbecues as well. And it just took off. And it went pretty crazy, really. And we were doing a lot of birthday parties and private stuff, really. Birthday parties, anniversaries and things like that, but nothing too major. And it wasn't until 2006 when I was asked to do a barbecue down in Pontefract, between Pontefract and Doncaster. And we did a gig down there for a lady's 40th, which was really nice. The guy who organised it rang me a week later and said, Andy, that was really great. The party last week for my wife's birthday, fantastic. Will you do another one for me in Scotland? And I went, cracking. At that time, I'd not travelled far at all, really, with this little business that we had running then. And I said, well, I'll go if it's worth my while going. And he says, well, I know that we got you down to do my wife's birthday party, but I'm actually the organiser for the Queen's 80th birthday at Balmoral Castle, and we'd like you to come up and do the garden party.
Wow.
So that was quite a coup, which we did. And
so what did you cook for the Queen?
We did.
Can't imagine. Can you come and barbecue for the Queen? I couldn't imagine that moment where you start to think about, what am I going to cook for the Queen? Ribs,
yeah, we fed. There was about 7,000 people there, and we fed about 3,000. I think.
Wow.
And we took up a whole Tamworth pig, which is like a centrepiece. We took up whole sirloins of beef, whole chickens, and I don't think much more than all the sides.
Wow.
And we went up that day, stayed in Aberdeen that night, and then we went across to Balata, set everything up, did the gig, and then we came back that night, and then opened the butcher's shop up at 6 o'clock the next morning. So we fit it all in with no sleep, and we made no money at it at all. We made £200 out of the whole gig, and I thought to myself, what have I just done? Why have I done that? And it wasn't until a month later our order book just went absolutely crazy when we put it out there what we'd just done and stuff. It went nuts, and it was from then really that we decided that we should be doing the barbecues and as a full-time thing. So that's what we did.
Wow,
and
that's cool.
We went full-time just doing the barbecues, and never really looked back since.
It must have been like a bit of a kick in the teeth. You got back £200 in your pocket from all of that, serving 3,000 people, that massive trip up, and
I didn't look at the bigger picture at the time. That's it. I didn't look at the bigger picture of what actually came from it, but at the end of the day, we were very happy with what came out of it.
Yeah, amazing.
It was totally the best marketing I could have ever had.
Yeah, definitely.
I can imagine. So
that worked well for us.
Awesome.
And then from that, we sort of ended up doing some sort of really nice gigs with a lot of footballers and actors, various celebrities and stuff. And we've worked all over the world. And that's why when you just said there, which I giggled to myself a little bit, when you said you've seen one of the menus, I'm not sure which one you're looking at, but when you said it looks like there's a bit of a fusion of stuff going on, well, that's exactly what we do and what I do now. Because we've travelled over the past 4 or 5 years now into 35 different countries doing barbecue.
Wow.
And so my influence, a lot of it on the menu now, just doesn't just come from American-style barbecue.
No, you can clearly see that.
My influence comes from all the different places that we've been to and travelled at. So, you might see some Indian in there with some Brazilian or some, or British banger type of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where it comes from now. My influence is definitely not just American barbecue, although American barbecue is what hooked me.
So when did the American barbecue hook you then? So like you went from sort of doing the hog roasts and then doing sort of, you mentioned like sirloin, so you're doing like sort of steak, and you're still pretty sort of what I would say like British barbecue maybe is around there. So then when did like the sort of US sort of style kick in?
I would think about, I think it was either 2000, I think it was either 2006 or 2007.
Cool.
That's we took a trip over to Memphis.
Yeah.
Memphis in May, and I met up with a load of guys that I'm still big friends with now, and I just got the bug. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it was a fantastic journey from there, really. And it's got us to travel all over the place. And I've always wanted to travel the world. But how the heck can I afford to travel the world? I can't just give up my work and just travel the world. But I would love to see the world. So being able to sort of do things that we've done, whether it's been a catered event or whether it's been a class or a demonstration or something, or a fundraiser, we've managed to get over 35 countries now, I think in the past 5 years.
Awesome.
Amazing. Yeah. Lucky man.
Yeah.
But it's still hard though as well.
The small community of the barbecue world, so everybody helps each other, as you know, and you'll get a call one day, like the beginning of this year when Teddy Reader called me and said we're doing a gig out on the borders of Alaska for barbecue for 24 fishing, and you fancy coming and doing it together. It's fantastic, and we get lots of opportunities like that on various places. Although this year's been a rough year for me for it, I've cancelled trips to Brazil, North Carolina, Estonia, and Zanzibar because my mum's been really ill. So I've just wanted to hang around home this year. So some likelihood is I'll probably be doing a bit of travelling again next year.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you got to bring it home and to do what you got to do.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we can travel any time, but you've only got one mother.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I can see from your Twitter profile picture you mentioned like cooking with celebrities. There's a photo of you there with Chris Evans.
Yeah, that was the... I can't remember what year that was. That was a street party for Kate and William.
Oh, right.
It was the street party on the One Show. And we did food for John Culshaw, Jay Rayner, Chris Evans, Suggsy from Madness, who's one of my heroes.
Awesome.
It was great to see him. That was a good little day as well. Yeah. We've been very lucky to have cooked for some good people.
Yeah. And it's Crackerjack Barbecue, isn't it? That's your...
Crackerjack. Yeah.
That's the business name that you trade under.
Yeah, we trade under Crackerjack Barbecue.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, having gone from being like a butcher and doing a couple of events, so how did you find like going into the sort of barbecue catering? What sort of like what sort of work went into that, and how did you find that? Was it hard to get into, hard to get your head round, or was it sort of just second nature to you and you found it pretty easy going?
Because of the meat business and because of at the time probably most of my friends were chefs because I was travelling up and down the country before this, supplying meat to restaurants and hotels and event businesses and event caterers. So I had a good insight into what went on. To start with, then the meat business helped with me on the meat side of things, and it sort of just came together. I went out and I bought. I started out with a little Renault Kangoo, tiny little van, and that didn't last us very long because we just outgrew it. And then we bought a Movano, was it? A big, long wheelbase, like a bigger than a Transit type of thing, and then it's sort of grown into what we have now, which we have 7.5-ton lorries and trailers and towables and all sorts of stuff.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah. And the type of equipment that we might have the tam doors. Like it was the same with our barbecues. It's more like fire cookery than just sort of barbecue, if you know what I mean. So we'd have tam doors and like Perilla grills. We've got ceramics. And then you might have seen this year we brought out the Wall of Fire, which we brought out for a birthday party. A guy down in Norfolk asked me to do a birthday party near Sandringham, and he wanted something that him and his friends had not seen before. So I said, "Well, just let me dream something up." And so I came back to him with this idea of the Wall of Fire, and he went for it. So I had it fabricated. I used some fabricators in West Yorkshire that make a lot of my equipment, and they seem to be working for me all the time. They're always doing something for me. So I got them to build this Wall of Fire, which they managed to do in a record time. I think they probably did it in less than a week. And I'd not even used it. So we didn't even get a chance to practice it. I had to go and pick it up, and then we drove straight to Norfolk and set it up. And we did it for this guy's birthday, and it was fantastic. So having done some tweaks to it, I've chopped and changed it around a bit, and it now works a treat. So I just can't wait for the snow this year because I want to set it up in the snow.
That'd be amazing. That'd look awesome.
Yeah, that's really, I think it'd look really cool. So I'm just hoping. I've been told that there's a good chance of snow tonight up in Harrogate.
Tonight?
Wow.
Hopefully.
So you're at the ready then, ready to light up?
Maybe not quite, but if we've got some snow for next weekend, maybe I will be.
Cool.
So for no one who's seen it, can you describe like what the Wall of Fire looks like and how you'd cook on it?
Yeah, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4 shelves wide, and it's basically like 4 shelves of just metal shelves. And this thing weighs altogether probably just around a ton of metal. So I've had it assembled so that I don't have any. There's no nuts and bolts and stuff, so I can just actually snap together, which is good. And then we loaded it with logs, and it took. When we first lit it, around 2 pallets of logs, 10, 12 kilo bags of charcoal,
Wow.
and then loads of kindling and stuff like that. So yeah, it took a lot to get it going. But because it was so open, it burnt out pretty quickly, so we had to keep loading it up. It was an expensive thing to run.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can't make much money on that one.
But as far as visual
It
impact,
looked wicked, though.
yeah, it did look wicked.
How was it to cook on
a lot
there?
of charcoal, a lot of fuel went into it. It was great, yeah. As far as visual impact went, it went fantastic. It was fantastic.
Cool. And you mentioned as well you got a tandoor. Like I'd quite like to try that. I haven't ever cooked in a tandoor oven myself.
Well, I went out to do a demonstration with the round table.
Cool.
I can't remember, about 4 or 5 years ago, and I was supposed to get out there with them Tobernuts. And at the time, his beautiful girlfriend had cancer. And I said to him, look, Em, if you want to stay here and just look after the girl, you stay here and look after the girl, and I'll go and do it by myself. So that's what we ended up doing. And we went out to India to do some demonstrations to raise some money to build schools and save the tiger. And whilst I was out there, obviously we got cooking on the tandoors and stuff in a lot of the hotels that we were staying at. I came back and I said, the first thing I said to Penny when I got back home, so the first thing I'm going to do is buy myself a charcoal tandoor, and I bought one that week. Then I came back, and now we use it on events. Funnily enough, the first time, I couldn't believe it, the first time I ever used it was for a christening. Unbeknownst to me, it was an Indian christening. It was a bit like close to Newcastle. But,
Did you manage to impress?
It was really good. It was really good.
Awesome. That's really cool. We talk about all the time on the show about inspiration and stuff like that, but it just really shows. Your menu speaks volumes for the travelling you've done and the inspiration you've had from around the world. And I'm just even now sort of flicking through some of the pictures on Instagram and on Twitter, and you can see like the sort of stuff you do, and it's amazing.
Yeah. The inspiration originally did come from. Well, obviously it was a me thing, but to get hooked into the live fire cooking was definitely in America. That's where I got hooked. But I don't know. There's only so much pulled pork and brisket you can eat, and I am quite adventurous with my food. And I do like. I love my food. I love my meat. I just think to myself, it's all right putting an American menu on over here on my events. But not everybody's going to want it, and I wanted to try and cater for everybody, including our vegetarian friends. So that's why my menus sort of come from where they do. I try and fit in. I try and fit in everything now, and that's why our platters are very popular nowadays. Even at the weddings, where we'll just bring in 3 tiers of meat, which is all different, and
awesome.
It's good. Yeah, it's going really well.
Cool. I've heard people mentioning when talking about you the Blues Bar. That's
the Blues Bar? Yeah, we've been there exactly 1 year now. The Blues Bar has been an institution in Harrogate for 30-some years. It was a total accident that I'm in there. I was down at the Cash and Carry, and Simon, who I've known for many years, who owns the Blues Bar, said to me, Andy, I'm looking for a smoker for the Blues Bar. And I said, why the hell would you want a smoker in the Blues Bar when you've got an Egyptian restaurant in there? Now, this place had been an Egyptian restaurant for 13 years above the Blues Bar.
Yeah.
And then he explained to me that the guy had cancer, who had the restaurant, and he was going back home to Cairo. So I said, Simon, you basically told me you've got an empty restaurant. And he said, yes. And I said, well, I'll just take the restaurant. Don't bother with your smoker. I'll sort all that out. And I said, I'll just take the restaurant. And he said, are you joking? I said, no. So that was on the Wednesday that week, which was 1 year ago. And we moved in on the Friday.
Wow. You move fast then.
So after a bit of refurb and all that sort of stuff, we sort of opened probably 4 or 5 months later, something like that.
Awesome.
Cool.
So what's the sort of food you're doing in there then?
It's live fire inspired. It's not all low and slow. There's a lot of grilling in there. There's a mixture of stuff.
Yeah, wood-fired oven and stuff like that in there you've got, haven't you?
Well, yeah, we've had all that in, but we do have a bit of a problem with that because the extractor, we had a bit of a problem with the extractor, and it kept setting off the alarms in our neighbour's shop, and so we had we've got some modifications to do to it.
Yeah. John from Grillstock was saying that they haven't opened up a restaurant without setting off the fire alarms and having the whole fire crew out for nothing.
Oh,
every single restaurant he's ever opened.
Yeah, exactly. yeah. So that's, we had fun and games with the extraction, definitely.
Awesome. Cool. So you also well, I know from a few guys that have sort of helped and competed in a team with you at sort of barbecue competitions. So when did you sort of get involved with the sort of US barbecue competitions?
I think around 2007 or 8. Yeah. I think 2007. I think.
Cool.
Something like that.
And how was this sort of scene back then? Was that UK based competitions, or were you travelling and competing, or?
No, I'd travel. I'd go over there. Yeah, I mean, in them days, crikey, it was trying to find out the knowledge. It was getting to learn from the guys. And a lot of the times, I'd go out there to a contest, not even to compete, just to find out what was going on. And learning about stuff and learning about all the lies that they tell you, I can remember one guy who was showing me, Chris Birmingham, and he's a great bloke. And I was in a whole hog with him. I think it was about 2006 or 7. And so I said, "So Chris, what's this that's going on now?" He says, "Sugar." So I tasted it, and I said, "Chris, that's more like nitrite." And he started smiling, and he didn't tell me. And I says, "Don't bullshit me, don't tell me the lies." And that's all they'll do, they'll tell you a lot of truth, they'll tell you a lot of lies, and I suppose it was working it out, what they were actually doing.
Yeah. So it was a big learning curve.
It was a big learning curve, yeah. But a lot of it was just to learn the American way of cooking for the event business. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was just learning about the different styles of cooking and live fire barbecue, if you want, from around the world. So that's what I'm interested in. I'm not just interested in cookery competitions and stuff. I'm more interested in learning and making my business better.
Yeah. So it was just like another trip to anywhere really, to Southeast Asia or India or anywhere. It was more an experiment and sort of a learning.
Research
project, to be honest, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I suppose it's from that learning, and it's from things that go wrong. I mean, the amount of times that we've done events, and especially in the earlier days, where things would go wrong, and you had to do things to make it work and make it happen. And you just learn things. You're like, "Crack! I didn't know I could do that." And the time when I was doing a spit roast lamb on a spit roast lamb on a gas rotisserie. I think about 2006 or 5 or something like that. And for some reason, we couldn't get the gas working. We had 1 hour left before the people were coming back from the christening. They're like, "What am I going to do?" So we spatchcocked the lamb and threw it on the Weber Ranch kettle, and we had it done, and it came out better than it would have done before. And I thought to myself, "Crikey, well, there's another little thing that we've just learned." You know what I mean? And it was at that point where all the gas went out of the window. We got rid of it all, and we just went all completely charcoal after that.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's a good way to go.
Yeah, It is, and it's always been like that since. Thankfully.
So, what sort of style of cookers do you use now? Then, so you were saying that I see you using a Kamado a lot.
Yeah, I use different types. I'll use a green egg. I'll use a primo. I'll use I don't know what they're called. Some of these copies that come in, though, they call them copies, but whatever they are, they come in from abroad. I've used many of them. I'm having a Perilla grill built as we speak for next season, which is really funky. I don't think I've seen one like it. I've sort of put a few designs that I've seen of different things together. Again, it's sort of a fusion of things, if you like. So I'm really excited about that. That's going to be good. And another big thing that I'm going to be using next year is I've got a 10-foot long Brazilian rotisserie.
Wow, cool.
It's got something like 120 skewers along with it.
Wow.
And I'm looking forward to getting that going for next season as well.
Awesome.
I like to keep moving. Just keep moving.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I'm moving ahead of the times. It sounds like because
I like to keep it. I like to keep it going. Do you know what I mean? So, so next year we might be able to offer, the ultimate barbecue circus with everything.
Yeah, definitely with your wall of fire.
yeah, that's it. So we've got a smoker, which is about 15, 16 foot long, which is a towable. And I've had that custom made 3 years ago, and I put a firebox at both ends so that I can roast at higher heats as well. So it's not just a case of doing the smoking in the low and slow. I can actually grill in there. I can bake in there, and we can do the low and slow. I'll probably fit 3 whole hogs in. So there's a fair bit of space in there, but it was designed so that I could get the high heat up in there as well. Do you know what I mean? If I wanted to roast stuff off or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's not just for me. It wasn't just all about the low and slow.
Yeah, definitely. So you designed that yourself, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just got someone to custom build it?
Yeah, well, a friend of mine is the chief engineer for a metal manufacturing company. He designs all sorts of things. And he drew a CAD-CAM design of it for me after I told him what I wanted. We took it then to the fabricators, and they built it, and I just used to go down every Monday and we'd tweak it, because it was a brand new project. It wasn't built from anything, it wasn't copied from anything or anything, so it was sort of being built as we did it. And it took them about 10 or 12 months to make it. They did it through the winter for me. So while they were quiet and they didn't have much to do, I said, I'm not in a rush for it. And they just, so they did it a lot less money for me.
Yeah.
And they just built it through the winter. And in their bits of downtime or spare time on weekends. So
did you get it right straight away, or did you have to go back and tweak it? And
we've not gone back and tweaked it at all. Although it's going to go back this year, just with a few little tiny mods on it. But next to nothing. I thought, we didn't do a bad job for our first attempt.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, to get the airflow right and stuff like that. If you're going to nail it first time, you're doing pretty well.
It all works. It all works really well. Yeah, it does. In fact, it shocks me. But we've insulated it. It's got about 1.5 inches all the way of insulation.
Must be heavy.
All the way through. So it is heavy. It weighs around. It weighs just over a ton, but it's very well balanced. You can one man could push it on his own. So it's
amazing.
It's well balanced and it travels well. I think the worst thing is when you go down a van or a lorry, when you're towing it, you can't see it, and sometimes you think, is it still there? Because you can't feel it. Yeah, so, visions of it, coming past me on the motorways. But, no, it works well.
Having like so many different options, how do you choose what you're going to take with you when you go to do your cook?
Well, it depends on what menu they've chose. So we'll put our menus. We write. In fact, I'm in the process of writing it now for next year. We write a brochure every year, which is about 20 pages. And
that's awesome.
And then it depends on what menu and what. Are we serving it indoors or are we serving it outdoors? Is it table service or is it? Do you know what I mean? So the menu and the kit that we take is dependent on my facilities.
Cool. Yeah, makes sense.
You know, so, and also what type of menu it is.
Yeah, so you know, like certain things need to be cooked on the different cookers, so you just take whatever you need to. It's just almost like a pick and mix, isn't it? Of like, well, they're picking these things off the menu, so I need these cookers to go along with it.
That's right. Even if it's just a grilling job, we'll still take the big smoker as a food warmer, if you like.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just I mean, keep a lot of food hot in there.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
I think for me next year, my big thing is the visual thing. I want everything to look like something. I want it all to be visual. Well, the big smoker's great, but it's not very visual. You know, the door's shut on it and there's nothing happening. You can't see anything. So that's why I'm a big Perilla grill.
Bit of theatre.
Yeah, very, very much so. The Perilla grill and the Brazilian rotisserie, I think for me, are going to be the killers for us next year. I think we're going to hopefully do really well with them. Yeah.
Have you seen the products that are made by Barbecue Mates? Because they have some quite showy stuff with all like different designs and stuff.
They do, don't they?
Yeah.
I've only seen pictures of them, and I've seen them in the flesh. I've not been down to their warehouse.
Yeah.
What about things like cat eye fireballs and stuff? They're pretty cool to have. Yeah. They're like really quite sort of theatrical and really look the part.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there, and I mean, it depends on where you go. I mean, like different parts of the world, you see stuff. We were doing something in the World Food, what was it called? World Food Convention or something in Perth, in the government buildings, and there was about 20-odd countries cooking their national dishes, and over half of them were cooking on live fire, which I thought was brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, so there's all sorts of types of methods and stuff out there.
Yeah, well, it's the original way to cook, isn't it?
It is, that's it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you know, these chefs that are chefs, the top chefs, they're always willing to learn because I mean, although they can cook, you know, like real troopers, they're probably not used to cooking with charcoal and briquettes and with logs and the likes, you know. So they're always keen to learn. So it's good for us. We've got good relationships with some chefs where we can swap information and things like that.
So did you offer like master classes or anything?
I used to do quite a few classes, but I don't do any now. I seem to be too busy. Even when I've tried arranging some for, like we tried arranging some for last year, and I ended up taking a big corporate job on. So I got to the point where it was just like I felt like I was letting people down.
Yeah, so it's best off just to leave it for the time being.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough. How did you find it for the last year, sort of having a premises that you were running, so having a restaurant you were running, and still doing like some of the catering jobs on the side and stuff? How was that for you? Was that a big step up? Was that something a bit different?
It's been an interesting year, to say the least. Because usually what I would normally do at the end of October sort of time, I'd take some time out. And sort of through the winter, wouldn't work as much, if you know what I mean. I'd do a lot of travelling, go see people, have a bit of a social life, because through the summer we really do work hard, and Penny, myself and the team, we go all over, we work really hard, and we try and sort of take as much time off in the winter as we could possibly do, and do a lot of research for the next year and all that sort of thing. Now, with us taking on a restaurant, that's totally filled me up. So,
not much chill outside.
Particularly last year, when it was all new to us, it was so difficult because I'm used to sort of a corporate client, for example, saying, right, okay, we've got 200 people being fed at 1:30. Well, that's easy. We know what we're doing. We're going in there, we're setting it up, and we're serving all them people in one go. We know what we're doing. A restaurant,
people walking through the door.
2 people come in, and then you got to cook for 2 people, and then you get a 10, and then you get a 6 and a 5 and a 1, and it's totally different to what we're used to with the events. I found it very, very strange to start with.
So what sort of adjustments did you have to make to your sort of cooking styles, or how did you cope with that sort of change?
Yeah, it was difficult. it was very difficult. I thought I'd find it easy, and I didn't. I found it quite a challenge, and especially as I was still running the catering, the event operation as well, and then trying to deal with the restaurant, which at the time was 7 days. Now we've cut it to 5. It was really, really hard, and then trying to find the best ways of regenerating the meat and all that sort of thing. It wasn't an easy.
No,
it wasn't easy
I can
at all.
imagine.
No, it was totally new learning curve. Although I'd sort of been in many restaurants, I've supplied meat in hundreds of restaurants and stuff. The restaurant game to the event game is two totally different animals, two totally different ones. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many people are going to walk through the door tonight. Yeah, if I was doing a corporate day, I'd know that there was going to be 120 people coming at 1 o'clock, type of thing.
A lot more moving parts in the restaurant then.
Sorry?
A lot more moving parts in the restaurant then.
Yes, there are, and there's things that could go wrong, like sorry.
Don't worry, it's all right.
Sorry.
It's okay.
No, it's fine. I've got a traffic warden on me.
Yeah, you did say. Do you need to go? We're almost we're approaching our hour mark almost. So if you need to go, you can might give us a position to stop.
No, it's fine. That's quite funny.
Run!
Wheel spin off, quick!
I just put the headlights on and turn the engine on and he walks off.
Yeah, so lots of things can go wrong in the restaurant.
Unexpectedly. Oh, lots of things, yeah. So if it's not a drink order being correct, or if it's not a waitress doing something wrong, there's always something. You're constantly on it. So I've got an operations manager who works for me, and she runs most of everything. She runs a lot of what we do on the event side, and I've brought her into the restaurant to set up systems and stuff in there. I've got 2 really good chefs working in there now, which is fab. It gives me more time to chat with people and stuff, and also, I mean, we get a lot of our business now from the events over this past year through the restaurant, where people didn't know that we did events, and they'll come into the restaurant and they'll book us to do,
awesome,
a rally down in Anglesey or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, cool, really cool. I suppose it must have been hard, like going into the restaurants and not be. So I would have supposed that you would have previously been able to sort of make it to most of your events and be at almost all of your events, and then when you opened the restaurant, you couldn't be in 2 places at once. That must have been a difficult sort of time for you.
The events I was at, I'm at 97% of our events, and I always will be at 97% of my events, and next year, hopefully, I'll be at 100% of them. I've got some great guys now in the kitchens up at the Blues Bar, but I always go in there just about every day. I'll be working. I'm working in there tonight. I'll be working in there this evening. But I do have to split myself up a little bit, and I don't like doing that so much.
Yeah.
The restaurant bit had to come second fiddle to the events last year because everyone books me to see me and stuff at the events.
Yeah.
So the restaurant. But don't forget as well, the events are not 7 days a week as well. So mainly, you might get a corporate day or 2 through the week and a Saturday or something like that, and then maybe an average week. So, the majority of the week I was actually at the restaurant.
Yeah.
And I did miss a couple of events. A couple of them where we were double booked or something like that, where we might have had a wedding on at one place, or we might have had a birthday party on it somewhere else, and that sort of thing. So we can only go to one of them. Whereas this coming year, we're trying to just have one event per day.
Yeah.
And make it worthwhile.
Definitely.
Yeah, just definitely make it make it worthwhile.
Cool.
in a financial way, so that we're probably doing less events but at a higher margin.
So I have to say that, I mean, we are sort of at the end of the hour now, and it's absolutely flown by, and we could chat for ages. It just seems like you are. I mean, you've done so much already, and you're really sort of pushing to do more and always looking to do more, which is amazing. It seems like you sort of. I mean, a lot of people have mentioned your name as sort of one of the sort of founders of or the real sort of a catalyst of UK barbecue and sort of like outdoor cooking and sort of al fresco cooking and all the rest of it. And
you've definitely lived up to that.
Yeah, definitely lived up to that.
Yeah, well, there's lots that we've done, and it's been a really enjoyable chatting with this. We should chat longer.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to get you back on again another day.
Another part. We'll need a part 2, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, do another one.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on, Andy, and giving up your time. And you're about to got work already. And
yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you for having me on.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. We'll have to make our way up to the restaurant at some point. So thank you very much.
Come up and do it.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll do. Cool.
Catch you soon. Thanks,
Cheers,
Andy.
mate. Thanks.
Cheers, bro.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Cheers.
Now.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I haven't got my.
You've got your auto cue ready.
Oh.
Before we go, we should probably say to find Andy on social media. You can go onto twitter.com/Andy Annat, and his website is crackerjackbarbecue.co.uk. So I should have asked him to say that, but I didn't want that traffic warden to catch him.
So thanks for tuning in, guys. We recorded yet another awesome podcast to get you over hump day. As always, we're brought to you by ProQ Barbecue Gourmet and Smoke with Shack, our awesome sponsors.
Oh, you've got the wrong one.
And Kamado Joe.
Yippee.
ProQ is dedicated to providing you with quality smoking products with top-notch service and free advice for beginners to pitmasters. And you can find them on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram under ProQ Smokers. So if you're thinking about buying your first smoker, want to upgrade, or looking for a charcoal cabinet smokers, check them out over at Max Barbecue. He says I got the wrong one, but here he is typing in Kamado Joe now. Okay, right. So Barbecue Gourmet is devoted to promoting real barbecue and supplying the UK and Europe with top championship winning barbecue rubs, sauces, marinades and accessories from the US and around the world. And you can find them on Twitter and online under Barbecue Gourmet. So regardless of how you cook, whether it's on charcoal, wood, gas or electric, the real taste of summer can be yours all year round. And Kamado Joe is renowned for build quality and innovation. From smoking, roasting or searing, Kamado Joe is the premium ceramic grill chosen by Michelin star chefs and barbecue enthusiasts alike. Get that great barbecue taste and keep the moisture locked in. Check out kamadojoe.co.uk plus Facebook and Twitter.
What?
Smoke with Shack delivers quality smoking wood every time. They provide the smoky goodness, you provide the talent. So if you're looking for some smoking wood chunks, dust, chips or planks, then head on over to smokewithshack.com and you can find them on Twitter and Twitter at smokewithshack.
This is a shambles. Thought you were a professional.
Goodbye from me.
And I'm the best cook. Let me press the button to stop it today, because it's not fair. You always get to press it.
Can you go cry somewhere else? I'm the best barbecue.